Aaron Judge in the American League. Not that Kyle Raleigh isn't there as well for the Mariners. Martin, who hit his, 2 more home runs today, got 35. Right. Judge has 32, but Judge is batting 360-something, and having an unbelievable year at the plate. So it's not just home runs, he's also hitting for average, and we're seeing average and power and all the other stuff that goes there, where Riley is just Kyle Riley is pounding the ball up, 35 home runs at the halfway point, and we still got about a week or so before the actual All-Star game. Could he get to 40 or almost, which is incredible. But anyway, I want to talk about the Shohei Ohtani and the National League MVP. And there was a recent poll done, and when it came to the American League MVP, MLB experts, there were 43 of them, Martin, and 35 gave Aaron Judge the first place vote. 35 of the 43. When it came to the American League, Shohei actually got 39 of the first place votes. Okay? And I'm not so sure he's having that type of season. And what I mean by that is last year was so incredible. He batted .310, had over 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. Nobody had ever done that. Knocked in 130 runs. And I just wonder, when it comes to Shohei, have we jumped the shark and he's going to get it every year? Remember, last year he did not pitch, but he had a ridiculous year. And the 50 stolen bases is the one that added a new dimension to what he does. Is it fair to just every year say he's going to be the MVP because now this year he's pitching? Because he pitches and he hits, and should other people be in the mix, or because he does both, he automatically is his to lose every year? Because that's what it feels like. He's batting .284, 56 RBIs. RBIs are down. Batting average is down. I don't know. He doesn't feel like the player that he was a year ago.
I mean, that's fine. He also is the best player in the National League right now. He's leads the NL in homers, slugging, OPS, runs scored, and I think the RBI is more of a function of the back of the Dodgers lineup and the fact he's hitting leadoff. Think about it. He's hit 30-something.
You only hit leadoff one time in the game.
Okay, but the back of the lineup, the 7, 8, 9 hitters are obviously not. If he was hitting fourth in front of, or if he was hitting behind Mookie Betts, Will Smith, and Freddie Freeman, he'd have way more RBI.
Okay, but
instead of hitting behind Tommy Edman and
well, last year he did that, and he had 130 RBIs.
And we're halfway through the year right now, so he's got 56. He's got 56.
He's going to be down.
Low. Right. But
because we're past the 81 mark,
right? But I would not blink twice if Shohei Ohtani finished with over 100 RBI. He's got 30 home runs and 56 RBI. To be
which is ridiculous. That means that most of his home runs are solo home runs,
right? To me, that's a function of the people in front of him being on base, less the actual what he's doing. If he's on pace, he's got how many home runs? I've said 30 a bunch of times now. It's actually 30. So he's on pace to hit what? 57 home runs? If he hits 57 home runs and hits
270, 275?
That's 270, 280, 270, yeah.
Okay.
Because
he was 310 last year. He doesn't have how many stolen bases? I'm just saying
I understand that his stats are not necessarily the same.
Last year was a monster.
But I'm looking at who else am I looking at? Pete Crow Armstrong?
Yeah, Kyle Tucker?
But
the Cubs?
I'm not looking at either one of those guys in terms of, first of all, they kind of steal votes from each other, but I'm not looking at what they're doing.
How about Juan Soto if he's turned it up in the second half? Is it possible? I'm just asking if the Mets make a run. He's got 21 home runs.
Well, but also it's the most valuable player for the whole season. Juan Soto was a mystery man for the first, 25 games of the year. But that's why Ohtani is far and away the NL favorite. It's a lack of competition.
Do you think, though, I still think that it has more to do with him being the dual threat. And they don't even look – and I'm not saying he's not doing anything. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I think that because he pitches and hits, people just think he's the MVP regardless. I mean, the way it just feels like that, not based off, and it shouldn't be a foregone conclusion that because he's going to win the MVP the next 10 years in a row if he does both, or next 8 in a row. I find that to be, I think there's got to be something where you look at his numbers from year to year. Was it good? As good? Was it worse? You know what I mean? And obviously the other players got to be involved as well.
That's what I'm saying. He's not competing against himself for MVP. It's not, is this Shohei Ohtani's best year? Is Shohei Ohtani the best player in the National League? But I'll give you the most valuable player in the National League.
But I'll give you a perfect example. What year wasn't Michael Jordan the MVP in the NBA? I mean, look, his numbers couldn't have been more consistent. And that's all I'm saying.
So I think guys got it wrong. Same reason I think LeBron having the numbers of MVPs he has is laughable as well. I think guys got it wrong.
You think LeBron should have how many?
I think for the last, when LeBron was in Miami,
not the last few years.
No, when LeBron, the end of his first Cleveland run through Miami to back to Cleveland, I don't think there was a better player in the NBA. So if your argument is, should the best player always win the MVP,
there you go.
Then I would say I think guys got it wrong. I think they got it wrong with Mike. They got it wrong with LeBron.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. In those situations, great players. Michael didn't win it every year, even though he was. I don't know who was better during his run. Maybe somebody had a great year, and that's what I'm trying to say is, with the Shohei, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, or if his numbers are as good as it was the year before, or whatever. They look at it, and tell me if I'm wrong, 877-99 Fox, but I just get the feeling like it doesn't matter what he does. He pitches, he hits, he's going to get my vote for MVP because he's a unicorn, because nobody does it. I don't think that's fair to the rest of the players.
Well, the problem is
Tarik Skubal.
He may be a unicorn.
What about Tarik Skubal and the years having, or a Skeens who's not hitting?
Skubal's in the AL, but Skeens. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing.
You know what I mean, or a pitcher of that ilk.
But that's the thing, though. Okay, so somebody who's dominating and pitching.
Yes.
If he's pitching, and we'll see Ohtani ramp it up down the stretch, and if he's pitching XYZ better than Ohtani, and like Ohtani's numbers on the offensive side of the ball are MVP worthy, which they obviously are.
Does he get hurt if he doesn't pitch well? Say he loses a few games, he gets knocked around.
Yeah,
you think that'll hurt?
If he plays worse, then he shouldn't be atop the NL MVP odds. But I agree. But if his offense is like, if he's leading the National League in several offensive categories and the other people in consideration aren't close, he's got like 13 more home runs than Tucker and Armstrong. Like, he's not Crow Armstrong. Like, it's not close in that regard. And on top of that, he is warming up to pitch. If he turns out and gets knocked around, it has an ERA of 7 and is 0 for 5 for the Dodgers, then I don't think his pitching would quantify in that counting, but the hitting still should. And right now, even if he decided never to pitch again this season, I think he has a strong argument to be the MVP.
I think if he doesn't pitch, that people would be more apt to look at other people. I think as long as he pitches, he'll always be his award to win, and somebody would have to beat him out. I do believe that. That's why, and I don't think that that's the way. I don't think it should. I don't think it should be like that. I don't think it should be like that. I think you should look at every year individually. And we understand he's a great player. And if he stays healthy and continues on his path, a Hall of Famer and all that other stuff, that is not my argument. 877-99 on Fox, my argument is it just a foregone conclusion? You know, that he's going to be the MVP because he does two things and nobody else does that. And is that fair? Do you feel like that's fair to everybody else? There's nobody else doing that. So is he automatically the MVP? That's what I'm trying to get, because that's what it feels like to me now, is like there's no way to unseat him if he's doing both.
His offense is enough. He doesn't need to do both. Like, his offense is enough.
I think if he's not pitching, Martin, it would be more up to debate if he wasn't pitching.
He's first in OPS, first in home runs, second in triples. Like, he's just hitting the cover off the ball.
He's not first in RBIs. He's not first in batting average. There's other stats.
Think about it. If you're first in home runs and second in triples, whose fault is it? If you're like, he's clearing the bases. He's cleared the bases nearly 40 times in at-bats. Like that to me is
what is his batting average with runners in scoring position? Because that's a more accurate. When people say it's the bottom of the order, you got to act like he's never up with anybody on base, or is he just hitting home runs? Or are there more to challenge him when there's nobody on base?
I'll have his numbers with runners in scoring position when we come back from the break. But I know this: the number for home runs atop the NL. The numbers for triples, right there. So if it's runners in scoring position, they're not there. If at 40 at bats, he's cleared the bases.